At some point in the nearest future, humanity terraforms and then colonizes the planet Mars. After a while, the Martians evolved into a species that was distinct from humanity, with the lower gravity making them taller and more thin. As time went on and Mars began to surpass Earth, it became clear that the two planets needed to have a discussion. A discussion that went a little something like this. This sucks, man. And they were right. As it turns out, when a war lasts a couple hundred years, it tends to have a few casualties. You know, like 1 or 2. Or 8 billion. So the Earthlings and the Martians, who have probably forgotten why they were fighting in the first place, decided to let bygones be bygones and work together. The outcome of their teamwork resulted in the Star People, a new species of humanity handmade with tender love and care to be perfect for intergalactic travel. The leaf skirt doesn't have anything to do with that mission. I think he just likes it. Anyway, now working together, the Star People were able to terraform and colonize countless planets all throughout the galaxy, leaf skirt and all. They even found some alien life, nothing intelligent just yet, but there was one thing that was rather curious. On one particular planet, there was an animal that was quadrupedal and had calcium bones, like something you would find on Earth. Problem was, this wasn't Earth. So how did it get here? This led many people to believe that an ancient race of intelligent aliens not only existed, but abducted some of Earth's animals and left them all over the galaxy for some reason. Knowing what they did about intelligent life, see before the 100-year-long discussion, humanity decided to arm themselves just in case they had to have another discussion. Unfortunately, no amount of preparation could have made them ready for the giant evil space bugs that were about to wreck their day. They were called the Q, and were masters in genetic modification, to the point that they could, rather easily, use it as a weapon. Which they did, rather easily. In just under 1,000 years, the Q completely destroyed humanity and rebuilt them the way that they saw fit, resulting in stuff like the lopsider, or the hand flapper. I mean, look at these poor boys. Look what they've done to them. Others include stuff like the worm people, forced to crawl about the insides of a planet too hot to live on the surface of, or the colonials, a particular defensive group of people that fought off 2 invading waves of Q, but were defeated by the 3rd. As punishment, they were turned into mass carpets of flesh used to filter the Q's waste. The best part is that they can still see everything they're doing and are intelligent enough to understand what's going on. There's also the Tempters, who are just unfortunate. Also, remember these fingerfisher guys. They become very important. However, there was one group of humans left untouched by the Q. Not on any planets, but in the empty voids of space. These people were known as the Spacers, for fairly obvious reasons. The names in this book are very clever. But hope was not lost for the humans that were not so lucky. The Q, being nomadic, eventually packed up and left, leaving the countless species of ruined humanity alone on derelict planets. However, many of these people were able to evolve back into intelligent forms. Remember the worm people? Well, they got an upgrade. Now they're the snake people, baby. And they weren't the only ones to regain their intelligence either. There were many that did, actually, like the Pterasapiens, a group of flying humans with fragile bones and short lifespans. A personal favorite of mine are the tool breeders. Since these guys lived underwater, they weren't able to invent fire or electricity or anything, so instead they used the life forms around them and modified them into becoming technological devices. That's fair enough, I guess, but after a while, when they got sick of their home planet, they just made a living spaceship, and they blasted off inside of a living spaceship. It's like a cow, but instead of being made to produce more meat and milk, it was made to punch a hole in the ozone layer. Oh, and you remember the fingerfishers? Don't tell me you forgot about the fingerfishers. Well, I guess that after a while, one of the fingerfishers just decided that he wanted to be a boat. And then he became a boat. Gotta say, I respect the hustle. Bravo. Anyway, all of these post-humans eventually became spacefaring once again and ventured into the cosmos, where they would eventually meet other post-humans. Together they unified and made something of an intergalactic alliance. Some post-humans, like the bug-facers, opted out of the alliance, but most of them joined in and thrusted humanity into another golden age. But we all know what a golden age means. It means that tragedy is right around the corner, and sure enough, it was. You see, there was one other post-human, known as the Ruin Haunters, who, as the name implies, haunted ruins. Like I said before, the names are all very clever. The ruins in question were the old civilizations of the Star People, and inside was old technology with unimaginable power. There was no telling just how much damage it would be able to cause if left in the hands of those too naive to use it properly. So anyway, they started horsing around with it, and before you can say coo to electric Boogaloo, they have completely abandoned their organic bodies and replaced them with machines called the Gravitals. With their immense technological head start over the other post-humans, the Gravidals were able to quickly and efficiently wipe out all other advanced life in the galaxy, with the exception of the before-mentioned bug-facers. What did they do to the bug-facers? Well, they transformed them into horrendous subspecies using genetic manipulation. Duh. Wait, hold on, didn't that just happen? I swear, humanity being genetically modified by all-powerful beings with god complexes, it's like the Olympics, you know? Like, it happens every few years and you don't worry about it, it's fine. Anyway, just like the first time this happened, the ancestors of the Spacers, the Asteromorphs, were the only ones untouched by this calamity. But unlike last time, it wasn't because they were in hiding. No, the Gravidals were afraid of the Asteromorphs due to them being even more technologically advanced than they were. But after a while, they decided, screw it, and went to war with them anyway. This resulted in the Gravidals' defeat and the liberation of the other post-humans. However, presumably because they figured if it could happen twice, it could happen a third time, the Asteromorphs created terrestrial versions of themselves that were called the Terrestrials. These Terrestrials would essentially act as humanity's babysitter and make sure they didn't go off and develop any god complexes. Were there some hiccups along the way? For sure, but they were all very minor, very minor inconveniences. Stuff like the Terrestrial themselves developing a god complex and enslaving their entire local population. Just stuff like that is totally fine. But for the most part, humanity was left to expand and grow and eventually become powerful enough to hunt down and exterminate the Q. Which is probably a good place to call an end to the story. So if you liked it, then why not subscribe and share this video with a friend if you think they'll enjoy it too. Anyway, until next time, don't die. See you later.